Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League. Round 9 takes us to the Red Bull Ring in Austria. I'm Tom Cairns in the commentary box, and we are here for an 18-minute qualifying session followed by a 36-lap race to wrap up the evening's action. As far as the championship is concerned, Big Balls, after his victory last week in Hungary, he has a 55-point lead over arch rival Dixon. Following Dixon's premature exit, that saw him score no points, and that was a big blow in the championship race. It means now, with the point system as it is, and with only 5 races left, Big Balls, otherwise known as Kevin, can afford to finish second in each of those 5 races and still become champion. We're about to start qualifying now. And here we go. There are a few reserves being called in for this evening's action. Got Maxi, who's in the Alpine, once again in place of Becco. We've got Lewis in the Red Bull. And Scenario's changed his PS name to Blue Flag. We've got Dan Pace in place of Warrior Huntsman in the McLaren. And that is about that. So we've seen some cars heading out on circuit now. There is Statistic King in the Red Bull. Currently 6th in the Drivers' Championship on 76 points. And so he's making his way through Remus. And then down the back straight, heading towards turn 4. So we'll wait for Statistic to start a lap here at the Red Bull Ring. And hope to not get caught up into too much traffic. Wells is on his flying lap. He's okay for traffic anyway. So he heads towards the Niki Lauda curve. Turn 1 that is. He's exceeded track limits already, so we may as well come away from him. Dixon is next behind. We expect him to be going for pole position here against the DRS Open. There are 3 DRS zones on this track. So 15.9 by sector 1. Now he heads down towards turn 4. Brakes before the 50-metre board. Nice smooth exit as he makes his way through the kink of 5. And now he's dropping down to 4th gear through turn 6, which is interesting. And he's exceeded track limits, unfortunately, so Dixon will have to go again. Unfortunately, we'll go to... I think Jack is on a fast lap, but not anymore because his lap is also invalidated. So drivers pushing too hard too soon. Maxi also on an invalidated lap time. Ricky is on a valid one at the moment, so he's coming through the last corner. And this will be the first time of this session. It's a 1 minute 4.2, and so Ricky sets the benchmark. We've seen a Haas go over the line as well. That is Lynx going behind Ricky in second, 1 minute 4.5. Then it's Face Scouse the third on a 1 minute 4.8. While Dog is coming through in the Mercedes. It's going to be a 1 minute 5.6. Lewis goes third, 1 minute 4.7. Then we've got the McLaren next over the line. That is Swinney, 1 minute 4.4 for him. So Ricky showing some good pace so far. Dixon coming through in the Williams. Should get a time on the board now. Statistic going fifth with 1 minute 4.8. Dixon goes top, 1 minute 4.0. And so that is 0.2 faster than anyone else at the present moment. And Ricky coming into the pits, invalidated lap time. And there's Lynx, who's also on an invalidated lap. As is Fate Scouser. What about Jack? Is he on a fast lap? Well, he's not anymore because it's invalid, unfortunately. And so Maxi coming through. And there's Lewis on a better lap than before. Goes up to third with a 1 minute 4.3. Nicely done by him. Pemis is next in the Alfa Romeo. Should go into the 1 minute 4s here, but it's only a 1 minute 5.2. 8th fastest for him. So there's a lot of time left on the table for him to find in the coming laps. There's Carlos Killer in the Aston Martin. Coming through, 1 minute 4.9, just inside 1 minute 4s. 8th fastest for him. Now Therese, who was in the commentary box last week in place of me due to connection issues at my end. Making his way through sector 1, half a tenth down from before. Just let's see Berry go over the line to start a fast lap. There's Big Balls there. Jacko starting a lap. Ollie's on a lap. He's off track. Therese coming into turn 6 now. Over the curbs. 44.9 by sector 2. 10th up from before. He's exceeded track limits, unfortunately, so we'll come away from him. And Big Balls starts a lap now. I think Jacko is coming into sector 2. 45.1 for him, and Statistic King has retired from the session this early on, so he's not going to go back out and do another fast lap. Jacko is coming around to complete his first time lap in the Ferrari. Rear wing open, and it's a 1 minute 5.0 for him. Bowie next behind, slowest of them all at the moment. He's going for another timed effort. There's the Ferrari, which you can maybe get a bit of a tow from. 16.3, so he's already a tenth up from before. There's blue flag coming through, sector 2. Big Balls is making his way through the last turn. It's on an invalidated lap time, so still no lap time for him so far. Blue flag making his way onto the pit straight. It's a 1 minute 5.2, only good enough for 13th fastest. Berry in the Haas, only a quarter of a second up by sector 2. I think sector 3 is where he lost a lot of the time at, so he needs to be aiming for a better lap here than he did so last time around. It's coming through now, rear wing open on the pit straight. 1 minute 5.8, only good enough for 16th, so Jack needs to find a lot of time during the course of this qualifying session. I've just seen someone improve their lap time drastically, or did they? Well, Maxi's dropped it on the pit straight, and he's out of the session, so not a good sign there for him. He was very quick last week in Hungary, but he's out of qualifying now. This is Q1, remember. I do take my word back for what I said earlier. It's a 3-part qualifying session. We lose the slowest 5 at the end of this. With Maxi setting his lap time, that lap time would be good enough to put him 4th, but because he's crashed out on circuit, he's now out of qualifying no matter what happens. But because of his lap time, he's not in the bottom 5. And there's Berry coming through. Big Balls has set a lap time, although not a representative one. He's up against it a little bit, but should still do enough to get himself out of that. So into sector 2 is aiming to be in the 44s by that stage. It's a 44.7. No, he just needs to get a banker lap in, to be honest with you. How's he through turn 9? Nicely done. And then through the last turn. And Big Balls will post a 1 minute 4.2. Good enough to put in second fastest behind Dixon. There's Mikey, who is on a fast lap. Jack is on a fast lap as well in the Williams. Berry in the Haas on a much better improvement by sector 2. Now he needs to get out of the bottom 5 here. He needs to find 6/10 on this lap. He's found half a second so far, so can he find a little bit more in the remainder of this lap? Not enough, only 16th for Bowie. There's Jack in the Williams. Oh, he got out of shape there. But remarkably, he's kept that lap time in, within the limits of the racetrack by the looks of things. Only 1 minute 5.9, only 18th for him. Mikey coming through in the Mercedes. He goes 5th on a 1 minute 4.4. So those up against it at the moment. Pimis down there in 16th. Bowie likewise. Wild Dog as well. He's out on circuit. Dan Pace is yet to make his way out on track. So Jack in the Williams. Looks like he's on another fast lap. By the way, he's turning into turn 4 there. He's gone wide through turn 6, unfortunately. He's still on improvement, but it's not a big improvement. He might duck into the pits, to be honest with you, to get another set of soft tyres on, but he carries on with this lap. No, yeah, he may as well come into the pits then, as long as it's safe for him to do so. Wild Dog has started a fast lap now. Dan Pace has just joined the lobby, so he should get into the McLaren and get out on circuit and get a lap in. Wild Dog 2/10 up from before through sector 1. Got a poor exit coming out of turn 3 though. That's an Aston Martin there without a front wing attached. That's Ollie. So he'll be making his way back into the pits. He's 13th at the moment on a 1 minute 4.8. So he's only a couple of tenths away from the drop zone. So he won't want to be feeling too comfortable. Wild Dog heading through sector 2. It's a 45-0. This lap of his he's doing is not going to be good enough to get him out of the bottom 5. Pimis is also retired on circuit. He's crashed at turn 1. Not sure what's happened to him there. He's gone a long way off through that corner. And so his session is also finished. Wild Dog goes 17th. Not good enough. 4/10 off the pace. Dixon goes even faster than last time. It's now into the 1 minute 3s. It's a 1 minute 3.9. And so that puts him further ahead of the rest. Therese coming through in the Alpine. He's on an improvement through sector 2. And he goes up to 12th place now with 1 minute 4.7. Blue flag now dropped into the bottom 5. And he's on an outlet at the moment. Therese is not on the lap. Just looking to see who is starting there. Well, Big Boss is retired from the session, but that's fine because he's retired in the garage. And he's done more than enough to get into Q2, quite frankly. Blue flag, meanwhile, has started the flying lap now in the Alpha Tauri. I'm looking at Pimis's lap time. That lap time... Oh, that's Blue flag go for a spin. He avoids the wall, though. So he should be able to continue. And Lewis also retiring. So we've seen a number of drivers retiring and not going out for another run, which I don't blame them. There's Dan Pace out on circuit. So we could be losing up to 7 drivers at the end of the session because Maxi and Pimis have crashed out on circuit. Dan's crossing the line now to start a fast lap. With just over 4 minutes to go before the checker flag falls. So Dan with a 16-0 by sector 1. And that's the Mercedes going off track there. That'll be Wild Dog. Just staying out of the way. Wild Dog down in 17th position at the moment. He's got a bit all to do to make it into Q2. And Dan coming through sector 2 now. It's a 44.5. That's a very good time by this stage of the lap. So Dan has exceeded track limits though. So that's that lap wasted. So he'll have to go again. Jack on a fast lap. He's coming into sector 2 now. 45.0. That's a better improvement. Much better than last time. But he's also exceeded track limits at turn 8. So he'll have to do another lap. Bowie in the bottom 5 also. 18th. Has just started the flying lap now. Let's see how he's getting on through sector 1. It's a 16.1, which is an improvement so far. We go to Blue Flag, who's coming through sector 2. He's down from before. So Blue Flag not on an improvement on this lap. Heading through turn 9 now, and then there's turn 10 to follow. Takes it cautiously through there, not exceeding the track limits. It's a 1 minute 4.8. He does improve, but not good enough to get him out the bottom 5. He is 16th. Very faster than he's done so last time, but he's still not finding enough time during the course of this lap. A 1 minute 5.2 is set. The man at risk is Carlos Killer, really, with a 1 minute 4.7. So Bowie needs to find half a second, really. He improves his time, but still not good enough to move him up the order. Only 18 for him. Dan Pace now goes 4th with a 1 minute 4.2. So he's pretty much safe now into Q2. Carlos Killer is pushed into the drop zone. And the driver at risk is Jacko in 13th with 1 minute 4.7. He's out on circuit. Also, Carlos Killer is on a fast lap in the Aston Martin. He needs to find some time. A 10th might be enough. Ideally needs to be in the 44s by sector 2. And he is inside the 44s. He's a 10th up from before. But he's exceeded track limits. So Carlos Killer will have to go for another lap. And Ollie has just backed off the pace as well. How is Bowie getting on another fast lap. On this last run, Jacko now pushed into the drop. Managed to improve. So blue flag up to 12th place. Now Jacko into the bottom 5 he goes. Jack DNF is also not going to make it through into Q2, unfortunately, so he's out of qualifying. Bowie down in 19th place. Didn't expect him to be down that low. He's making his way through sector 1 now. 8,000's up by the first sector, but it's only like one corner on this first sector, so there's not too much to look at or analyse from that first sector. It's the second sector, really, and sector 3 as well, that really does need to be analysed. Jacko is on a fast lap, but he's not improving by sector 2. We've seen drivers going off track. We're not quite seeing how long is left. There's 10 seconds to go, so Bowie's got to make this lap count. Otherwise, it's qualifying over for him. Colours Killer out of qualifying. Not good enough. Only 17. Jacko isn't going to make it either, I don't believe. Bowie, meanwhile, coming through turn 10. Rear wing open. Over the line. It's a 1 minute 4.8, but only good enough for 18th place. So Bowie is knocked out at the first hurdle. He's not through, and neither is Wild Dog. So at the end of that qualifying session, we lose 7 drivers because of Maxi and Pimis crashing out on circuit. We also lose Jacko, Colours Killer, Bowie, Wild Dog, and Jack DNF. Fake Scouser through in 13th place. Blue flag will breathe a huge sigh of relief as well. And blue, no problem. So at the end of that session then of Q1, we lose the bottom 7 now because of Maxi and Pimis. Their premature exits on circuit. Maxi, Pimis, Jacko, Colours Killer, Bowie, Wild Dog, and Jack DNF are all out. The top 13 go through to Q2. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to qualifying. We now go on to Q2, and we've only got 13 left, which means we'll lose only the slowest 3 drivers at the end of this session. And I would imagine we're going to see quite a number of drivers trying to get through on a set of mediums. Well, there's Dixon already out on circuit now, but he's on the soft compound, which is interesting. Perhaps he wants to make sure he's got that track position at the start of the race. We know how quick he is. Ricky also out on circuit on the mediums, as is Statisticking on the softs. Dan Pace also out on softs. Trade's out on mediums. Lewis out on mediums. Link's out on softs. There's a variation out there. So Dixon going for pole here. He needs to the arrears of a 55-point margin over Big Balls going into these last 5 races. He's got to make them all count. He starts a fast lap now. Into turn 1, no problem. Keeps his car within the track limits. And with his knowledge of the circuit should be in the 15s by sector 1, and he is 16.0. He's making his way down towards turn number 4. Coming out of that and heading towards turn 6. And so Dixon, with a 44.3 by this stage, keeps his car within the limits. And he's exceeded track limits, unfortunately, so Dixon's lap is ruined by exceeding track limits there. Ollie's starting a fast lap now. Ricky coming through the last turn on the mediums. And this lap of his is only going to be good enough for 1 minute 4.4. It's a decent time, actually, on the mediums. So statisticking with a very poor lap with 1 minute 6.7. Dan retiring from the session. Not sure what's happened involving him there. Looks like as he drops it on the pit straight, he has. That explains it. So Dan out of qualifying. He won't be going any further. Lynx goes fastest on a 1 minute 4.3 on the softs. Seen Lewis going third on a 1 minute 4.5. Trades fourth on a 1 minute 4.7. Ollie, meanwhile, coming through. Oh, well, I thought it was. But yeah, he is going through. That was just a glitch, in case you were wondering. 44.6 by sector 2. And now he's making his way towards turn 9 and then 10. He's exceeded track limits, unfortunately, so may as well back out of it on that one. Swinney spinning round at turn 6. Just looking to see, is anyone improving? Ricky's going over the line for an improvement, and he goes top, 1 minute 4.2 in the AlphaTauri. So Ricky finding a little bit more time, giving himself more of a cushion to get through into Q3. And I think with Dan pace now out of qualifying, the chances of those getting through on the mediums are becoming increasingly likely. So Swinney coming back into the pits. I'd imagine he'll give the mediums a go. And Ollie on a 16.6 by sector 1, which is not very quick. And so Ollie coming into the pits to get a set of mediums on, or is he carrying on for another lap? I think he's going to carry on and try and get a fast lap in there. So Ollie with the rear wing open, it's heading towards sector 1. It's a 16.1 by the looks of it on there. Oh, it was a 16.0, so going much quicker than before. Probably took a bit too much curb at that turn. And so he's making his way towards turn 4. No problem there whatsoever. Oh, he got a kick of wheel spin on the exit. That won't help. And now he's heading towards sector 2. It's a 44.8. It's not the quickest we've seen. I think Ollie will want to consider giving the mediums a go later on. And he's making his way into the last turn now. Keeps his car within the limits. And this lap is a 1 minute 4.4. Third fastest for him. Mikey's on a lap on the mediums. Just looking at Big Balls, who's coming through in the Ferrari. He's halfway round the lap on his medium compound. And Blue Flag looks like he's crashed out at turn 1 as well. So Blue Flag also out of qualifying. Now neither of them are set lap times, so should all the others set lap times, we'll just be looking for one more driver to be knocked out. Big Ball's hoping to not be that driver. It's a 1 minute 4.3 for him on the mediums, no problem. Mikey's exceeded track limits, unfortunately, so he'll have to go again. Dixon on a set of mediums. So Dixon heading towards sector 2 now, should be in the 44s. It's a 44.4 by sector 2. Into the last turn now, onto the pit straight, and this lap is a 1 minute 4.0, and Dixon goes fastest. Very nicely done. Swinney in the McLaren, heading into the last turn. He's not on a fast lap, to be honest with you, so he's just getting a lap on the board there. He may set it up for a go on the mediums later on. Mikey into the pits, probably to get some more fuel in. Fate Scouser in the Alfa Romeo heading through, exceeds track limits, so he won't be getting the time on the board on this lap or the next. So Swinney going for another run. And he's backed off the pace by looks. He's not going very fast. And so Swinney making his way into the pit lane, probably to put the medium compound on. I'd imagine Fate Scouser will do the same thing. You can see Beaker coming through. That might have been a glitch. And I've been told that rain is incoming. So, as of when that'll be coming over, I don't really know. And we seem to be getting connection issues at the moment. So what I'll have to do is end this broadcast and open up a new one. So bear with us one moment as Lewis Beaker improves his lap time to go 6th fastest. We'll be right back in a moment.